In this video, we are going to be looking at creating stem and leaf plots of given data. So you have a sheet that you can write all the words that are in red are the blanks that are on the paper. So fill those in as we go through it. So some information about stem and leaf plots. A stem and leaf plot uses the digits of the data values to organize the data set. So it compacts all that data into a smaller area for you to look at. Each data value is broken into the stem and the leaf, which is why it's called that. Many times the stem is the tens digit and the leaf is the ones digit. The leaf can only have one number from the actual full number in it. The rest of it has to go with the stem. So that's why it's usually the tens digit and then the ones digit because it's usually looking at 2-digit numbers. So to create a stem and leaf plot, you're first going to draw a T-chart. The stem is the digits on the left, and then the leaf is the digit that is on the right, okay, or digits. A stem and leaf plot shows how data is distributed. That's one of the benefits of this, is you can kind of see how many numbers are clustered together, so it makes it very easy to interpret the data. Don't forget to make a key. The key explains what the stems and the leaves represent. So if you don't have the key, you don't know if they're talking about tens, hundreds, with decimals, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to the examples. Alright, so what you're going to do is order the data from least to greatest if it's not already that way, and then decide on what place value will be the stem and what will be the leaf. So remember, the leaf can only have the last digit of the number, so everything else is considered the stem. You're going to draw your T-chart, and then you're going to place each value in the T-chart and create your key. Oops. So here's an example of a stem and leaf plot already done. So you can see that according to the key right here, that a 1 and a 5, that means the number 15. Okay, so all of these are your leaves, and then your stems are the 1, 2, and the 3. So I know that this data, there should be 6 numbers because there's 6 numbers on the stem side. So if I were to write out the data below, I would have 15, the number 15 because the 1 and the 5, okay, the number 16 from the 1 and the 6, and then another 16 from the 1 and the 6. Okay, then I have a 22, 22, and then I have a 23 from the 2 and the 3, and then my last number is the number 35. All right, so I took out all the numbers. You can see I've got 6 numbers and there were 6 leaves, so everything matches up. So again, now it says find the median, so I'm going to cross it off till I get to the middle. And since there are 2 middles, I am going to add those together, which gives me 38, and divide that number by 2, and that gives me a median of 19. Okay, and then the mode, you can easily see that there are more, the most is 16. So my mode is 16. Okay, another way that you could have done this, let me kind of erase this stuff so you can see this. Now, finding the median on this stem and leaf plot takes a little bit more work because you have to go from the ends, and then you have to go from the ends, like from the beginning on this way and then going in this direction. So it's not too bad when there's only this many numbers, but when it gets longer, sometimes it's tricky to try and find the median, so it helps to be able to write the numbers out in order like this. Okay, so you can see that the 2 numbers I didn't cross off were the 6, which corresponds to 16, and the 2, which corresponds to 22, which were my 2 medians when I wrote them out. So if you want to try that, go ahead and try that. Otherwise, just plan on writing them out if it asks you to find the median. Mode, you can easily look. I can see that there's the most 6s on this line. Even though there's 2 5s, the 5 is not the mode. The first 5 is the number 15 and the second 5 is the number 35. So it's very careful that you're paying attention to how to read the stem and leaf plot. Alright, so we've got 3 examples to try creating these. So we have the data set here, and you can see that they're already in order. there's only 2 numbers, so that means all your tens digit is the stem and all your ones digit is the leaf. So you can see I have tens of 10, 20, 30, and 40. So that means I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3, and 4 for my stems. Okay, and then since they're in order, I'm just going to write the numbers in order. So I got a 5, I got a 6, and I got an 8. It's very important when you're doing this that you're spacing them out the same, so I'm not going to go 2, 5, 5. I'm not going to squish them in there. What I'm going to do is line them up right underneath each other. So the 22 goes under the 15, 25, 25, 25, 26. So I can visually see that there's more 20s than there are 10s. Okay, then I have a 30. Even though it is the number 30, I have to put that 0 down. And then a 1 for 31. I'm going to do a 0 for 40. I'm going to do a 2 for 42. And then a 4 for 44. Okay, so like I was talking about, it's easy to see where the data is distributed. I can see that I have the most in the 20s. So whatever this data is representing, I can see that that is where most of my data is coming from, is numbers in the 20s. All right, and then to find the median and mode, if we do that again, we are going to, I'm just going to do it right from the beginning one. So I'm going to cross it off till I get to the middle. And you can see that there's only one median. So my median is 25. And then my mode, what I see the most, is the number 25 again. So it is possible to have the same median and the same mode. All right, so just to show you what I meant with doing the median on when there's more data values, let me do the key first. And then I'll come back to that. Okay, so my key, it's the same thing, and I always pick the first number in there, and I draw that line in between a little bit longer, so I know that it's my stem and my leaf, and I know that this has to equal the number 15. Okay, so like I said, it's very important that you have the key, so I know that this represented the number 15. All right, so now going back to the median, if I were to cross it off, I'd have to make sure I'm going from the end. So now on this way, I have to start on this side, but on this one, I'm starting on this side. So it gets kind of tricky trying to find the median based off of the stem and leaf. So it might be helpful to write them out. All right, but this was your stem and leaf before I crossed off all your numbers. That would have been your answer. Okay, here's another one. So you can see all the numbers are in order again, and this time we have decimals, but our numbers in front, we have a 1, we have a 2, we have a 3, we skip the 4s, and then we have a 5. Even though we skip the 4s on the information, I'm still going to put it. I'm just not going to put any numbers in that row. Okay, so now I have 1.4, so I put the 4 down. 1.6, so I put the 6. Another 6, and then my 8. Okay, now this 2, everything else has 2 numbers after the decimal, so that's actually 2.0, so I'm going to put a 0 there. 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.9. Okay, then we have 3.1, 3.4, and then we get to skip the 4s. I'm not even going to put a 0. If I put a 0, it means that there's a 4 up on the line, and there's not. So don't put anything in the 4 column. And then for 5.6, we're going to do 6 and then my 8. So notice again how all my numbers line up going down the line. So I can again see that the most digits come from the 2s. Okay, and then I have to make my key. So again, I'm just going to use the first numbers on here. So I'm going to do a 1, a longer line, and a 4. And then I'm going to write 1.4 because I know that that represents 14. Or sorry, 1.4, 14. The 1 and the 4 represent 1.4. Okay, now if I were to find my median again, cross them off till I get to the middle. Okay, so here's my median. And if I'm looking for my mode, I have the most of 1.6. All right, so that is that one done. Most of these problems you won't have to find the median and mode with it, but we're just doing some extra practice with that. For the most part, you're just going to have to find or create the stem and leaf plot. All right, so last example, you can see that these are three-digit numbers, so actually 40 is going to be my stem. So I need a 40, a 41, a 42, a 43, a 44, and a 45. So I'm going to do 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. Okay, so that when I put my 1 here, I know that represents 401. If I did it like this, and I did the 401, I would think that this is the number like 40 and then 41. So I need to keep it separated with only one digit on the stems, or sorry, on the leaf side. So we have the 1, we have 412, so we're going to put a 2 here. We have 413, 421, 422, 422, 439, 439, 439, 445, 455, and then 456. Okay, and then the key on this one, again, I'm just going to use the first one, so I'm going to put my 40, put my line in 1, and say that this represents 401. Okay, so it's important that you put that so someone doesn't think it's 40.1, that they know it is 401. All right, that's the end of the video, so thanks for watching.